Hi, welcome to my channel, Rohit Speak. And in this video, I'm trying to answer to a general audience who have always questioned like, how do we see things or how do we hear things or in general, these kind of questions. So with that, I would like to answer the first question, which is how do we hear things? So before we get into it, sound itself is a sonic, it's a wave. It is a wave-like particle. So whenever you hear sounds, these are sound waves which are traveling and getting into your ear. So how do we hear things? So if you look at your ear, there are three regions on your ear. The outer region, the one which is visible to you, is called as the outer ear. Then there is this middle ear, and then there is this inner ear. So whenever you hear things or hear sounds coming in, they come like waves and they go in. And then we have this eardrum right in the middle ear. So eardrum is like a white kind of membrane and they vibrate. They vibrate as the sound goes in, they vibrate. And as soon as you hear something, they vibrate. And then there are these three really tiny bones behind the eardrum. Okay, they are called as three bones called as malleus, stapes, incus. You don't need to remember the names, but there are these really three tiny bones. They kind of vibrate as so any sound vibration goes there. It then gets translated to these bones, which then start moving or vibration, and then they go into the inner ear. Now, this is your important part, or the cochlea of the ear. This looks like a snail if you have seen snail. So the top portion is filled up with fluid, which maintains your balance, your movement. Okay. And the bottom part is the one which is responsible for your listening, as it is shown here. So this is the region which is responsible for hearing. This is the region for your balance. So now this is that bone, as I talked, this incus right here. So as it vibrates, this vibrates, and then it starts transmit that vibration into the cochlear. In cochlear or this circular region, there are small, really, really tiny hairs called as stereocilia. You don't need to know the name, but there are tiny hairs. So that vibration starts vibrating that hair, and then all of this, they kind of amplify your sound. So you know those amplifiers where you input the sound and then they boom out. So that's what it basically happens here. It booms out this vibrations, and then it passes on to this nerve right here, this one, not this one, but this one called as auditory nerve. So that is the nerves. So when it vibrates here, there are ions channels which open and then they bring out this electrical conductance, which fires up this nerve, and that nerve then transmits this vibration into a hearing signal into your brain. So whatever that vibration, every sound has a different vibration. Every different sound has their different signature vibration. So whatever you see, different type of vibration gets converted into a different signal or a different vibration, and that converts into a different type of sound. So for example, when you hear a microphone, or sorry, when you hear a guitar or when you hear a piano, they all have different vibrations. As a result, you can distinguish between them. So what happens is basically sound travels through your outer ear. There is this drum, which is very important, the first step. They will start vibrating, then it will vibrate your bones, which is the malleus, stapes, and incus. Once the incus starts moving, it will vibrate, sends those vibration down your cochlea, inner cochlea or the basal cochlea, and that will open up ion channels and transmit signals to your auditory nerve. That nerve goes to your brain, and as a result, it transfers that signal that you're hearing something. And it's very fast, very rapid. So now what happens with the people? So when you age, what happens is usually you start losing this cochlear connection. They kind of start slowing down. They don't vibrate that easily. As a result, you don't hear that clearly. As a result, when you're aging or you get to a certain age when your cochlears doesn't are not able to vibrate that easily, you have this hearing implant or hearing aids, not implant, hearing aid where your sound wave goes in. Now this is the region where it used to amplify normally, but now what it does is your aid amplifies it already for you and then transfers it to your eardrum, or and then it goes back to your cochlea and gets you the signal. So what happens is basically your amplifying is done or already artificially by this hearing aids. These are normal hearing aids where people take it when they are not able to hear it normally. Nothing is wrong in your system, it's just due to aging or some kind of issue. Now, then there are people who are born deaf or they have some issue being deaf. That kind of makes them not, either they are born with something or some kind of issue happens. They need is a cochlear implant. As I told you, that snail-like organ, that's the region which converts your sound waves into your electrical signal to your brain. So what happens is they have this artificial implant which have a transmitter, speech processor, a microphone which is outside right here, and then they have, and this implant requires a surgery, and then they have an electrode array which is inserted close to this cochlea right here, which is an basically whatever you hear, it will get transmitted into an electrical signal and then starts vibrating your electrodes in the cochlear, and as a result, that will transmit a signal to your auditory nerve, and hence the people who are deaf now can able to hear. Okay, so basically, it requires a surgery and insertion of this electrode array into the cochlear, which is right there. Now, then people are also not able to hear because not that their cochleas are not functioning, it's just because they have ruptured their eardrum or this thing. This thing has been ruptured due to some kind of an accident in during their childhood or whatever, or due to very loud noise, their eardrum has ruptured. The good news is that these are easily replaceable, or not replaceable, I'm sorry using the word, but can be done through surgery. You can put a new tissue around there, or there are some implants which helps you fix this eardrum. So once your eardrums are fixed and they are able to vibrate, nothing, if nothing is wrong with your bones or cochlea, you should be able to hear your any sound which you were not able to hear or not able to understand. So that's one issue which people have been having issues with. Their eardrums are ruptured, or sometimes their bones. These bones are very minute, very delicate, and that could be done due to some kind of accident or trauma. Again, there are surgeries available where people can fix these bones with the artificial implants and put it into your cochlea. Or even if you don't have these two functioning, you can have just the implant go directly to your cochlea. So that's how you hear, and how people have who have not been able to hear are able to hear now due to the implants and the hearing aids. So I hope this gave you some perspective on how you hear things and what are the parts involved in how to hear a sound or anything which you are experiencing. Hopefully, this is something useful for you, and I'll come up with more videos where I'll try to answer like all these how questions, and hopefully people have intrigue about these things and get to know a little bit better perspective of how your body is functioning. With that, I would like to close this off, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.